We talked last week how it's a barren wasteland out there for running backs, but one guy was a little bit surprised to see available in about 2/3 of Yahoo leagues, Yaj, Tyler Allgeier, Atlanta Falcons. He had his big game, the one he gets every year, 2 touchdowns, 11 carries, only on the field for 23 snaps, but got the ball about half of them there. So this is a big, big moment for the former BYU star, the 1,000-yard rusher, is a rookie who's now playing behind one of the most dynamic athletes in the game. Yep. The question is, do you want Tyler Allgeier over? Let's start off with the guy right around on his level, Tyjae Spears of the Tennessee Titans.
All right. In this case, I would take Tyler Allgeier. However, as a Bijan owner, I feel like at this point in the year, if Allgeier is out there, you have to go get him just to safeguard yourself against the potential injury. And you don't want to be dealing with waiver wire fodder. You don't want to be dealing with fab blind bids with your league mates. Just, get ahead of it if he's there and you have Bijan, pick him up. But in this case, Tyjae Spears, I still think that there's just really not enough offense going on.
To what you said, if Bijan Robinson goes down, Allgeier turns into like a $75 waiver bid. I don't want no part of that. So I get the handcuff there 1,000%. Spears has been a solid change of pace running back, but the numbers portray him more of a slightly below average guy to Tony Pollard's average running back. The rush yards over expected aren't quite there. And it does seem like even if he does get more run, he's not going to be able to do as much with it as his RB1 is at the moment, which is why even Mike McCoy is like, well, we could use to change of pace now that I'm interim head coach, but Tyjae, you stay over there, bud. You come in moments. So I don't necessarily see the upside there beyond, and this is important, the PPR value. Allgeier, 6 targets this season. Spears, I think, has 14 in his last 3 games. He's a guy who's going to give you those points through the air, but not necessarily with receiving yards. So if you're in a regular old-fashioned league, and like, what the hell is it, man, 2004? Yeah, go Allgeier because he's going to get you those rushing yards, more rushing yards than Tyjae Spears will. But Spears is going to get you the PPR value. Next man up, 61% owned, coming off the injured list soon. We just don't know when. Presumptive Arizona Cardinals RB1, Trey Benson. Yash, who you taking, Tyler Allgeier or Trey Benson?
All right, if it comes down to simply picking up a guy off the waiver between these two and you don't have Bijan, I'm going to go with Trey Benson. He showed some flash before he got hurt, and the schedule's pretty decent for Arizona down the stretch in terms of running back production against their opponents. And once again, Allgeier is kind of just popping in the red zone for the most part. Problem is, if Atlanta doesn't get to the red zone, they're not going to use him. So that's why you see these games where Allgeier's, putting up, 2 points, 0.6 points at one point with 6, he has those cavernous games where, they're just not getting down to the areas where they like to use him. And we all know Bijan's capable of breaking off a 30-yard run at any moment. So I'm going to lean Benson on this one. Pretty convincingly.
To your point, Allgeier, 5 red zone carries in Berlin in week 10. Bijan only had the 1. So it makes him a little bit more difficult to trust. The baseline is not necessarily going to be there. The floor and the ceiling are wildly and vastly different. Whereas a guy like Benson is going to get a lot of opportunities, put up huge rush yards over expected in limited usage behind James Conner, had basically 1 game to prove himself, immediately gets hurt, but he has the home run potential. He's got that ability to crank out the 20 plus miles an hour on the breakaway run. And he is going to add that receiving utility that you don't necessarily get out of Tyler Allgeier. And by don't necessarily get, I mean, you don't get at all. So give me Trey Benson on this one, even though his status is nebulous. We don't know when he's coming back. We don't know what the Cardinals running back room is going to look like because there's been so much upheaval there. I think Benson is just too good for even a coach like Jonathan Gannon to ignore. Yeah. Finally, a little bit of a surprise here. Isiah Pacheco, Kansas City Chiefs, 71% owned, but having an underwhelming year in a very disappointing Chiefs running attack. Not putting up huge numbers. So, Yash, do you want the Falcons RB2 or do you want the Chiefs kind of, sort of RB1?
I might sound a little crazy here, but give me Tyler Allgeier over. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not happy being, holding on to a guy who's part of a 3-4-headed monster at this point in Kansas City. I mean, he doesn't really have a defined role other than, sometimes early down back, depending on how Kareem Hunt looks. He's not getting any passing down work whatsoever. And, he's not even guaranteed red zone and goal line work at this point. Plus, he's been banged up. So if it comes down to Allgeier, who's guaranteed red zone work whenever they get it, or Pacheco maybe getting an opportunity, I think I'm just going to go with Allgeier. As crazy as that sounds, I know it sounds crazy when I'm saying it, but
we just saw Allgeier do more with less in week 10, whereas Pacheco's been doing less with more, 40-plus snaps each of his last 4 games, but only 219 total yards in that stretch, only 17 of which came through the air. This is a guy who only has 60 fantasy points through 8 games. He's had less of an impact than Allgeier, and he seems to be kind of stuck in that he's going to get you 6 to 10 points any given week. This is a guy, I believe, Yaj, only has 1 game this season with double-digit points. I don't know how you trust him. I don't think the boom is there quite the way it is with a guy like Tyler Allgeier, because he's going to get those red zone carries. Mm-hmm. And the schedule is going to be a little bit tougher for the Chiefs going forward compared to the Falcons, who get to play a lot of softer defenses, except for, of course, Vita Vea and the Buccaneers. So this is a coin flip for me. I don't like either guy necessarily. If I have to lean on one, it's going to be very matchup dependent. I think I want Pacheco, but man, I don't know.
Again, he's shaken all faith in what he built up over the last couple of years with, ever since his injury, basically. So, I mean, I feel like we're almost going name brand
at the ground, and it's tragic to see.
That stinks.